Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chantel Johnson, and I will be giving a commemorative speech on the celebration and publication of a research paper. Now, personally, the research paper that I used was on testing the growth conditions of crystal synthesis using rare earth ions with 1 to 10 ratio of phenanthrene. And I am commemorating the co-authors specifically and how co-authors are very useful to a primary author's research and how that aids in the success of a publication of a research or scholarly article. Now, I am speaking of this from my own point of view from an article that I assisted in and received a co-author publication in just my sophomore year in 2023. So, what I assisted in the project was I tested the crystals under room temperature. Now, that is just one of 3 different growth conditions that were tested within this project. So 33% of this project was particularly what I did myself. And what we did was we tested its spectroscopy, its microscopy, as well as its luminescence. And what that means is we tested the absorbance and transmission of these crystals, as well as we viewed these crystals under a microscope to see if they were clear enough. And that determines if it is successful or not, as well as seeing if it's under a certain wavelength, under ultraviolet light, whether it is luminescent or not. Does it show a glow? Does it shine? And that was proved successful in this research, which can be shown in the article. Now, these are just the things that I personally assisted in, and I would just like to talk about how that aids in the research of this publication. So, the other growth conditions tested in this article were hot and cold, and they were very great. They all proved to be successful, even though under hot, it wasn't very successful. And this is just my knowledge from the previous researchers that assisted on those particular areas of that. But what I'm mainly focusing on is what efforts and contributions that I put into this project and how it helped it succeed. Since all of these came to be successful, which is shown in the article, the primary author submitted it and also added my name as a co-author. And now, if I ever go out and talk to any scientist, for example, or any other researchers like myself, I can mention this, talk to them about this, show them the article, and I can actually be valued for the efforts and contributions that I put into that, which is the main goal of this commemorative speech, is to acknowledge all of the efforts that the co-authors put in. The co-authors' efforts that were put in is very useful to publications because it helps the project succeed. It proceeds to the primary author's finding, as well as proves that that research was successful, and it allows for the co-author, as I mentioned before, to be valued and commemorated for the effort that was put into the project. And it was a very great project that I very much enjoyed, and I would like to just thank my audience for listening to me, hearing this commemorative speech. This is a toast to myself and all of those co-authors out there. Just know that whatever work that you put in, it will be valued, and it's very important. Even to the very end, collaborating and networking with a group of researchers is very useful and very helpful to what they are assisted in. Even if you may think it is not very helpful or it's a small part of that project, that small part of that project that you put into it is very great and very useful, and it will be valued.